Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel, and thanks for logging on. Today we're discussing the Patek Philippe 5140P Diamond Set Platinum Perpetual Calendar. You can see this extraordinary black dial, white metal, diamond set Patek Philippe Perpetual Calendar on our website. Purchase it there, and subscribe to our YouTube channel if you enjoy these videos. You can also click on the card in the upper right hand corner of the screen at any time during this video to see our full sales listing for this watch, with additional accessories included in the sale, high resolution images for your desktop, and naturally complete pricing details for this Patek Philippe 5140P Platinum Automatic Perpetual Calendar. Now, the watch on my wrist is part of a family that debuted at Baselworld 2006 and was phased out by Baselworld 2017. Replaced by the 5327, this watch is now a traditionalist's choice with a more compact and discreet case shape and sizing. The watch wears easily on my 16 centimeter circumference wrist, and as you can see, the 37.5mm case, as my calipers measure, is a perfect match for a small wrist. I would also say that because the lug-to-lug span of this one is a quite compact 45.8mm, you could wear it securely with a handsome proportion and absolute confidence on a wrist as small as 13 centimeters in circumference with no fit issues. This is a watch that wears well on a small wrist, but with the combination of the Patek Philippe Marquis, a Perpetual Calendar Platinum, and the dial gems, this one can also hold its own against a big wrist. It has that kind of character and wrist presence. It has stance, it has gravitas. It also has a slim profile, so it can fit underneath a dress cuff at only 8.9mm thick, but with a generously sloped domed-style bezel. This is an easy one to wear with formal attire. But with the combination of the white metal and the black dial, it also has an air of sportiness about it that will wear well with more casual clothes, such as a polo shirt and cargo shorts by the pool. Again, don't take the plunge, that's why you have an Aquanaut or a Nautilus, but this can be a casual watch. I'll also mention that it is a substantial watch. Despite not being a large timepiece, the fact that it is executed entirely in platinum with a matching full platinum clasp means there's a weightiness about it, not just in terms of presence, but in terms of physical mass. This is a weighty watch, and you will not forget that you're wearing something special, even eyes closed. The case band and the mid case are sublime, as you can see, almost razor slim in profile. Though the watch is just under 9mm thick, it appears even thinner thanks to the generous step of the bezel that separates the width of the case band from the loft of the bezel itself, so the watch appears to be even thinner, impossibly thin. And because the case dimensions are traditional, Patek can extend the lugs and give them a full body, an arc, and make them a physical part of the case, but also an element of the style. So many oversized watches have indecently short cropped lugs, trying to make up in ergonomics what they lose when they expand the case, and they look awkward. They look like pods on the wrist. This has long, flowing, full, sensuous lugs that I adore. Now, when you turn it upside down, you can see it has the latest generation of Patek Philippe pull-tab spring bars, so you can remove the strap for a close cleaning of the case between the lugs, or simply to swap straps and change the look without need to resort to a jeweler's tool. The full clasp, as I mentioned, also in platinum, is also fully finished, polished inside and out, beautiful execution. It features a filigree style, or essentially skeletonized and relieved Patek Philippe Calatrava cross as the buckle top, and it counterbalances the watch nicely. So if you like to wear your watch loose, I always say get a heavy clasp or a substantial bracelet so that you can wear it loose and it won't have any tendency to tip over because it's not top heavy. That's what the buckle also does for you. It counterweights the watch. All of high polish, that is completely appropriate in this case. It can be overbearing on a big watch, but on a traditionally sized watch, it gives the watch a little bit more presence, it gives the watch a little bit more stance, it gives the watch a little bit more of a raffish flair, and it works. Now, because there are pusher adjusters located squarely between the lugs at 6 o'clock, the usual Patek Philippe Platinum watch Vesselton diamond is moved to 12 o'clock between, well, two more pusher adjusters. The diamond dial is one of the best of its kind. I can say that this is masculine, this is discreet, and this is gorgeous. The use of the white gold indices to hold the brilliant cut diamonds in place means that they're beautifully detailed. If you were to get down to the dial level with a 12, 15, 20 power loop, you find that the setting of the gems itself is gorgeous, in addition to the quality of the cut. Now, double baguettes are used at 12 o'clock, and like the rest of the indices, the settings and the cuts are absolutely beautiful. The dial base itself is black and fairly matte, so it has no tendency to glare. It is matte and I might say semi-gloss, but it's certainly not a high-gloss treatment, and just to be clear, this is not enamel. Now, the white on black printing is absolutely gorgeous and highly legible. You can read this watch, though the dial is not large, you can read this watch easily, and though it crowds a large amount of information into a small space, once again, there's no difficulty discerning what's being displayed. First, because the faceted and polished white gold Dauphine hands at center contrast gorgeously against the black base, but also because there's a logic to the layout that makes it easy on the eyes. And once you're used to the watch, you know to look at the concentric registers at 9 and 3 for specific information. The quadrant display of the perpetual calendar, so the leap year cycle indicator, is something you'll rarely ever have to reference unless the watch stops for a long time. It's coaxial with an outer concentric display for the month, and then you have coaxial displays for the day of the week and the 24-hour indicator, which is both a useful AM/PM indicator for your watch and also a reminder as to the danger zone, that period during a 24-hour day when the watch is engaged in turning over its calendars, and you should not attempt to manually adjust it. So you have AM, PM, and danger zone indicator thanks to that subdial at 9 o'clock. Now there's a radial display for the date at 6 o'clock, and inboard of that there is a crescent-style moon phase, which features a beautiful midnight blue sky, and then a gorgeous polished moon that rises up out into the aperture to trace the arc of the heavens. Now the case back is a snapback, 3 atm water resistance. You're not going to want to get this one wet, but what's underneath is worth saving from the waves. This is a gorgeous caliber 240Q. It's a micro rotor automatic with a 38 to 48 hour power reserve. Beats away at 21,600 vibrations per hour. Now that is a Gyromax style balance, so free sprung allows the watch to be regulated precisely in 6 positions in this case, one better than the usual chronometer standard, and it also makes the watch a little bit more tolerant of shocks or bumps on the wrist. That's the benefit of a non-mobile index adjustment system, a free-sprung balance like Gyromax. It also features the Spiromax silicone hairspring that Patek Philippe developed during the 2000s, blessing the watch with a degree of additional resistance vis-a-vis magnetism. Now you'll note that the micro rotor system has a 22 karat winding mass, and it's borne on ceramic rotor bearings for high efficiency. You'll also note that the watch features a open display, and that's because the micro rotor system puts the winding system and the rotor in the same plane as the other bridges to give you the convenience of an automatic and the slim profile and broad display vista of a manual wind movement, but with, again, an automatic. Now you can see the Patek Philippe seal on the movement from roughly mid-2009. Let me see if I can get a little bit closer because we do want to get a good look at this movement, but from roughly mid-2009 to the final phase out of the watch in 2017, the watch featured the Patek Philippe seal, which is a holistic standard for watch finish as well as function. See if I can get that a little bit crisper even. You'll note the level of finishing has lost nothing from the Geneva Hallmark era. At this angle you can see all of the black polished screw heads showing their poly noir or black polish optical finish, the highest standard. You can also see the edges of the bridges and the balance cock lighting up because that's where they are mirror finished and rounded by hand to achieve the finest degree of anglage. You'll also note that the jewel countersinks feature the same level of internal finishing. There's a even and tight micro perlage engine turning across the base plate, and you can see, let me see if I can find the best reflective angle right there, that there is a perfectly aligned and richly textured, non-stamped but manually applied Côte de Genève, perfectly aligned once more across the bridges. This is a gorgeous movement for a gorgeous watch and a worthy motor for a memorable timepiece in the canon of Patek Philippe perpetual calendars. Discontinued, rest assured, the diamond set black dial with platinum case was one of the rarest editions of the now foregone and not forgotten Patek Philippe 5140. You can see and you can purchase this extraordinary ultra-thin micro rotor automatic perpetual calendar on our website.